Good morning, my soul brothers, my soul sisters. Today I'm going to be trying out a new welder that I just bought, and I've been thinking about getting one for some time. Have a few projects, including repair of the exhaust of my son's 73 Chevy Suburban and several other projects. And so I'm going to unpackage it, have a look at it, go through some of the features, some of the things that I've learned just by reading and watching a few videos, and see if I can get it set up and just see if I can do a little welding, see if I can be a welder, an amateur one, but a welder nonetheless. I think anybody who is handy and likes to fix things should know something about welding. I've decided to take the plunge and see if I could be one of those people. So on the advice of several people who are beginner to medium to even experienced welders, it seems like this 125 amp wire welder is going to be a good start for me, and it's got a lot of reasons. It says shielding gas not required. It's supposed to have everything you need in the box to do basic welding. So we're going to see if I can actually do this. But I'm going to try to do some butt welding and some angle welding. And for help, I've got this magnet that was recommended to me by a professional welder to hold your pieces for you. And we're going to see if that helps me to actually do a decent job of doing some butt welds and some angle welds. We'll see how it goes. One of the first things that I noticed when I opened the box, they have this quick start guide. I mean, that's probably for people who have experience, but it has basic setup. But one of the things that it says is to prevent injury, read the manual warnings and instructions before use. So I am going to go through this booklet and read all of the warnings and make sure that I have a good idea exactly what I'm supposed to do. I've already watched several videos on like 5-minute quick guide on how to do welding. So I think I have a good idea what I need to do, but I will do a little reading, make sure that I haven't missed anything. Remember guys, as the Russian hacker always says,
safety is number one priority.
Well, I have it out of the box, uncoiled the wires, made sure they were in good condition. It looks like this has been, there was some evidence, some marking on some screws that someone had bought this before. So if you end up getting one that's been returned to the store, make sure you check, see all the parts are still there. In case you didn't know, I didn't see in the instructions, but there's a little knob here. It actually holds and lets you lift, but when you want to open it, you got to press it in so you can swing this guy open and install your wire feed. And the instructions are very explicit. I got the instructions right there for you. They're in the book. And so I'm going to get that set up, get the wire installed on there, and do a very basic test of the system just to make sure that it's functional. For those of you with bad eyesight, feeding the wire for the first time might be a little difficult. There's a very tiny hole you got to get that into, and be able to get that fed in there, you'll have to have this part swung away and the little retaining knob pushed out of your way. So this will all be closed like this. You'll need to pull up on the handle a little bit, spring-loaded handle, slide this away, feed the wire, feeding the right direction through here into that feed hole down there. Once you have it in there, lock it back up. Should be able to, I believe, feed that by itself. We'll be testing that here in a second. Learning as I go. Before we can feed the brand new wire through, you need to take off this tip and the wire guide, both those items. After you've done that, plug the thing in, point it in a safe direction, pull the trigger until you get a couple inches out. Another tip, set the wire speed to maximum where you're trying to feed the tip. There we go. The last part of the wire tension setup is you want to make sure that up against a piece of wood, the wire should bend instead of stop. If it stops, you got to tighten the tension a little bit. The little knob I wasn't sure about, you tighten that and it creates higher tension. So it appears I have mine set just right. Well, my first attempt was to try to do some 1/8" steel that I just picked up at the hardware store. The recommendation is to set it at a wire feed of 8 on the maximum setting here, which should be 125 amps. And this is the result.
For the first time ever.
It is horrendous looking. I will recommend highly an auto darkening helmet, so you can see the work before you start, and it automatically darkens to protect your eyes. So that made it really easy to see where I was starting and see what I was doing. I'm pretty sure that that is one of the worst welds in the history of welding.
I've seen worse.
So that's my very first attempt, and we'll see if I can do a little better. The end goal is to be able to do some things like fix the exhaust on my son's old Chevy pickup and a few other projects I've had around here that it required some welding. But man, not a good start. So I did a couple more. It looks like I actually got some penetration on those. Not pretty. I'd have to grind it down to see how good it actually is. Oh man, it's gonna take a while. Okay, third and final test weld for the day. Not really sure, still looks a little uneven. I don't know, I'll have to get a professional opinion. Put yours in the comments. My third weld ever. Yeah, I don't even know what's wrong with it. I go look at a little chart that tells you what the weld is supposed to look like, and then get back to practicing some more. Okay, well, this is my fifth weld, and it's starting to look like, I think that's what it's supposed to start looking like. I feel like I really got into the groove of it. I'll go ask my neighbor, he's a professional welder. What do you think? There was one other thing that came in this box. It says, complete welding kit, everything needed to get started. And I was thinking there's no gloves and no mask, but one of the things that I found that came with it, it's like a handheld mask. It came with a shield, like I think it was a 10 shade rated shield, and a little handle so you can hold it up like you're going to a mask in the King's Court. 3 months. I don't know, but I got a real helmet, and so I'll be using it. Speaking of helmet, I just wanted to show mine to you. It was recommended to me by someone else, and it's a self-adjusting. You can see it's got the photovoltaic solar cells there in the top, and when you start welding, it automatically darkens the mask, and then as soon as you stop, it undarkens it. And it has some adjustments inside for things like sensitivity and delay of the response time, and fully adjustable, very nice, comfortable helmet. And it only costs about 50 bucks. I tried to find one, honestly, without the racing designs on it.
Help me, Tom Cruise!
But anyway, very comfortable, and did a great job of shielding my eyes. It's even got on the side of it, it's got here a grinding mode. You can set the shade level, and so it will actually, when it goes to darken the lens, it'll set it according to the shade level you've chosen. I've set mine to 10 because this welder recommends a shade level of 10. Great helmet. Costs maybe $10 more than just a standard mask that doesn't have automatic darkening on it. So definitely worth the money. Well, that's it. That's all I'm going to try for today. That's all the damage I think I can afford to do for one day. That metal for doing welding testing ain't cheap. I got to see if I can find a better source of scrap metal for doing some test welds. Thank you for watching the Soul Shop. I love you guys. I'll see you soon.